my most recent videos, I have focused a lot about American-made knives. Folding knives in particular, but also some fixed blades. We have seen quite a lot of Lamnia cutlery, Medford knife and tool, Bark River knives, and some other brands and makers. All of them are also rather, expensive knives, but the quality is top-notch usually, I would say. But today I want to make something different, and during the last year or so I have been I've been buying a couple of knives made by CIVIVI. And I thought now could be a good time to showcase them, to bring some variety to the channel. And the knife that started it all for me is, I guess, one of their most, famous and perhaps also most simple in some ways designs, the Elementum. I got this one quite some time ago, and I was actually quite impressed with it, especially given, the price point. But also the overall design, the ergos, the sharpness, the action, just, a very well executed little folding knife. And it was quite popular back when I got it, but these days I know that there are a lot of people who don't really praise it that much anymore, and I know there are some rather famous YouTubers that used to put this one really high up on their budget lists, but that for, well, whatever reasons, don't like it that much anymore, which is pretty strange in my opinion, because I still like it as much as I did when I first got it. So this is still a highly recommended knife from me, the Elementum. And now there's also some other versions of it, the button lock Elementum and the Elementum 2, etc., and also more variety in scale materials. So still a really good, nice knife in my opinion. But what I'm bringing to the table here today are, well, a couple of different designs. One fixed blade and a couple of folders. So what I have here is, I actually have to read this myself. Some I have open and just checked out a bit. Others I have not even taken a really good look at. We're gonna take a look in this video at the Stormhowl. Stormhowl. We're also gonna take a look at, this is one of the newer ones because it has the 10-year anniversary label on it. So this one is the Vexillum. I'm also bringing to the table the mini Praxis. One of the more, popular models, I would say. Another fairly new one, which is the Bluetick. Then we will have the Bulltusk, or Bulltusk, yeah. My pronunciation may not be spot on. Then we have the Spiny DOGFISH. And the regular Praxis. And this is the, let's see, Stellar Quilt Pen and Button Lock Elementum 2. Like a Christmas special. I got it some time ago. Like I said, there are some rather new or semi-new models, and then we have some older models. It's just that I have been, lagging behind, so that is why there will be some, some interesting variety going on. But we also have one fixed blade here on the table, and that is the fixed blade. Yeah, I remember now. I got the fixed blade Elementum. That's going to be an interesting one to take a look at as well. So I think we're going to start with the folders, and then we're going to finish off with the fixed blade. Just need to set up in which order I want to go. Not that it really matters. So it's going to be a bit of an unboxing, some first initial impressions, and yeah, see what else we can do in this video. So yeah, give me a second here to pick the knives. So I think I'm going to start with the Stormhowl, because I think that is the knife that I will actually enjoy the most out of all of these, for a few different reasons. So let's check it out. Yeah, some you know, usual CIVIVI packaging cloth. Did they redesign the cloth? Yeah, it's been quite a while since I got the Elementum, so yeah, some random stuff here, but of course also the knife itself. So this one is made in pink aluminum with some nice milling to it. Hopefully it is visible here in the camera. Really pleasing aesthetics to me. I think it is actually quite stylish. And obviously a button lock, but there is also a jimped flipper tab here as well. So let's take a look at the nice swift opening action. Reversible pocket clip, which I'm actually not a fan of. I'm sorry, but I think that this takes away from the overall aesthetics. Then again, I am right-handed, so maybe I shouldn't, you know, talk too much about that. But it is a personal preference of mine. Bit of a, I was gonna say like a clip one, but a drop point as well. Sort of a bowie-like design in my humble opinion here. Great grip for my large size 10 hands. Nice jimping on the spine. It feels good in my hand. Let's test the button lock here. Oh, guillotine. Let's open it. Wow. So very swift action. Nice centering. So this is something that I like, definitely. In fact, I wouldn't mind paying premium, you know, money for it to be in, you know, milled titanium. But and perhaps with an upgrade in steel as well. Actually, I can't remember what steel this is. Is this like nitro? Yeah, this is nitro V. It's pretty good steel, I would say. So especially given the price. So the Stormhowl. This is something that I will make a full review video of shortly, I would say, or hope. Yeah, this is going to be a good one. Let's proceed. I mean, there are a few boxes to open up here now, but this first one is a winner to me. This is definitely what I wanted, and I think that it's actually better than what I expected. Let's proceed to the next one. Next up, I want to go with something new. So we're gonna mix, you know, something old with something, well, new. So the Vexillum, and this is a heavy package or heavy box. So let's do a bit of unpacking here, or unboxing as well. Just some silica gel. Is it the same? Yeah, more or less. Some other types of stickers here. The 10-year anniversary CIVIVI sticker. And an Elementum sticker. So I guess they still appreciate the design themselves. And here we have this is a large knife actually. So let's take a look at the Vexillum with green, like Ranger green or Army green G10 scales with some milled pattern, like a diamond pattern of sorts, and obviously a coated blade. Not sure what kind of coating was used here. Let's see if it stands on the box here. Milled OD green G10 handle, black stonewashed nitro. Yeah, it's actually a stonewash. I didn't really realize right away. Yeah, this is no DLC, this is no PVD of course, but yeah, a black stonewash. So let's take a look at this one. Snappy action for such a large blade, I would say. So nice, like a clip point design, I would still say, with a swedge grind. Big choil, full finger choil. Some nice jimping on the spine. liner lock, much as the no wait, the Stormhowl was a button lock. Yeah, this is liner lock. So let's see the action: smooth closing action, swift opening action. Large scales, like I said, size 10 in gloves, fairly large hand. Got a lot of real estate here. And also the full finger choil as well. Actually really nice ergonomics, I would say. Non-reversible pocket clip on this one. Decent sized thumb studs, should you want to use them to open the knife. I usually go with the flipper if there is a flipper, but there are a lot of people who prefer thumb studs, of course. Very dark stonewash, I would say. I mean, it's you know, in the right angle and from the right distance, it looks almost like some kind of coating, I would say. But yeah, this is the Vexillum, and it feels like a winner as well. I've been good in picking, you know, the right CIVIVIs, it would seem. I hope it continues. Let's take a look at the next one. Next up, I want to go with the Spiny DOGFISH, and this is probably one of the older knives here on the table. I picked this up quite some time ago, but I still remember, you know, seeing the first photos and being drawn into or, you know, intrigued by the overall design. So let's see how it feels in hand, shall we? So we got some natural G10 scales here, non-reversible pocket clip. We got a stonewashed 14C28N blade. And there is obviously no flipper tab, there are no thumb studs, so I guess we're gonna have to use this large cutout in the blade. And I've got to say that I prefer flipper tabs, I prefer thumb studs. And then I also, you know, I do like button locks. So this is actually not a favorite opening method of mine, but at least it's, you know, it is accessible. Liner lock, closing action is actually pretty smooth. Opening action, I am giving it a bit of a wrist flick as well when I open it, but I would do that regardless. So in hand, it does feel pretty comfortable. I can say right away that this little ramp here or part here is perhaps not, you know, super nice, but there are no sharp edges at least. It's a very stout tip on this one. Let's see if it's visible. And it is an interesting blade design here, or, you know, like a compound design. A lot of interesting grind lines and, you know, swedges, etc. going on, and perhaps also a fingerprint magnet. But overall, an interesting design for sure. Actually there is a full finger choil as well. And placing your thumb further up here does feel, you know, better, I would say. Yeah, definitely an interesting one. Gonna have to make a full video of this one as well, despite it being a old model. Yeah, the Spiny DOGFISH. Glad I picked it up. So the next knife I want to go with is the Bulltusk. I'm not really sure when this one came out, but it's not, you know, a super old model, I think. And I can tell right away that it's a larger knife because it's kind of heavy. It's interesting when you buy, you know, you see some designs and you buy them and then you just wait a long time taking a look at them. And now I'm like, I don't fully remember what this one looks like, but it's a large knife. So let's do a bit of an unboxing here as well. Oh yeah, it's this one. Now I remember, and in a good way, I will say. So here we have black G10 handles with some interesting patterns and milling work. can see that it will offer a reversible pocket clip. Once again, something I'm not super fond of because it takes away a bit from the general aesthetics. But yeah, I guess I should not complain, really. Flipper tab, black. So I'm not gonna say that this is a coated blade in any way. This is probably just, you know, once again, a really dark, you know, black stonewash finish, I guess. Read the box here. Black coarse G10 handle, black stonewashed 14C28 and blade. So let's open it up. This one reminds me, you know, a little bit of like the Kunvo Compadre or the Stitch or something like that. I mean, just a little bit, you know, in the general design in some sense. Very, you know, wide blade, I would say. Very, you know, kind of a aggressive look to it. Do like, you know, the flow here of the knife itself. Once again, like a large knife, definitely, with my large hands as well. There is a choil. It looks like, yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, so I can fit my finger here, but this is, I mean, when they do choils like this, I sometimes don't really understand. I mean, why don't make it just ever so slightly larger so that it will fit most people's fingers? Because otherwise it's just like a really large sharpening choil instead. Either you go like a small sharpening choil or you go full finger choil. Going somewhere in between is just a loss of you know, cutting length, in my humble opinion. But a great looking knife, in my opinion. Comfortable as well, nice jimping, nice placement here of the thumb as well. Opening action was swift, closing action is very smooth. Yeah, this is gonna be a good one. Need to make a video of this one as well. Next up, we will go with a slightly newer knife, or newer, I mean this is, yeah, it is a 10-year anniversary knife, as can be seen here. But with CIVIVI and V-Knife releasing new knives every month at least, or every 3 weeks perhaps. And new is a relative term in the knife world. This is the Bluetick, and I remember being a bit torn when I ordered this one because there were some, you know, aspects that I liked about the knife, and there were some that were a bit more of, you know, of a concerning character. But let's open it up and see what I think about it. So we've got some green canvas micarta scales, no G10. This is more like the Elementum that I showed in the beginning of the video, although slightly darker, I would say. Perhaps with a bit more texture. No, not really. Matte canvas, green canvas micarta, and a dark wash 14C28 and blade. Flipper tab here, let's open it up. Swift opening action, and yeah, here's the design. Obviously with a reversible pocket clip, which is good. We've got a pretty interesting blade shape going on here. We've got some really heavy jimping here that doesn't look very comfortable. Well, it actually feels not as bad as it looks because it's not really sharpened or no sharp edges, but it is, I mean, it is heavy, deep milling here on the jimping. And then a sort of a swedge grind going on here, and you know, overall a pretty aggressive look to it, and a bit of a strange choil as well. I mean, this could sort of work like a full fingered choil, but it's not super comfortable, especially perhaps not in this grip. Has a very, you know, tactical look to it. And as you can see on the handle here, it's milled with, you know, finger grooves. No problem for me though, it fits my hand quite nicely. Large hands. So the opening action was quite swift, and the closing action is, I mean, it is smooth. I mean, the knife is brand new, but I would say that it's, yeah, it is smooth. Liner lock, solid lock up, but you know, the overall design of this knife is kind of strange. I guess I should make a full video of this one and every knife I show in this, you know, video. but I am still torn about this design, I've got to say. But if you like what you see, I mean, then by all means, go ahead. Yeah, let's go on with the next one. Next up, I want to go with the Praxis, the regular one, not the mini. And this one is, I actually bought the wrong version when I bought this one, because this is, well, it has OD green G10 handles, and that is something that I like. And it also has a black stonewash blade, which looks good together with the OD green G10 handle. But here's the thing, the blade here is 9CR18 MOV steel, and that is the equivalent to like 440B. And that is not a steel that I am particularly fond of. I wanted this knife in a Nitro V, but sometimes things go fast, and yeah, it is what it is. But we can still, you know, take a look at the actual design and, you know, get a feel of the knife, even though it is a steel that I would not go with, even for a budget folder. So, the OD green G10 scales. We can see that it has reversible pocket clip, a flipper tab on the larger side actually with some jimping here. And here we have the black stonewashed blade in the, well, 440B steel equivalent. This is a large size knife. It is a pretty comfortable knife. Once again here we have this ramp going on here that I do not appreciate it. It's not something that I like a whole lot. It doesn't do anything for me. It may look a little bit nice, but from a, you know, user standpoint or practicality standpoint, it does nothing. So the opening action was very swift. It's a liner lock, like, well, I mean, if a knife isn't a button lock from CIVIVI, it usually is a liner lock. Not a lot of frame locks. So the opening action is swift. Closing action is smooth, not hydraulic, but smooth. I've got large hands, fills my hand or palm nicely. You do have a full finger choil here, that actually is a full finger choil, which I appreciate. And placing your thumb like this on the spine actually feels kind of good, even though it's, you know, tapering down. So all in all, this is a you know, proven design, proven model. Very popular, and I can see why. So let's check out the little brother, the mini Praxis. Next up, I want to go with the mini Praxis. I mean, it seems only logical since we just did the regular, the full-size version. So this follows the same, you know, overall design, I would say. This one is also in OD green G10 with a black stonewash blade, but with a D2 blade steel instead of the 9CR18 MOV steel. I wanted this one with Nitro V, but that was only available on certain regular Praxis models. Anyways, as we can see here, the Mini really is a mini model. It's quite a bit smaller. And I can also see now right away that this one, this Mini Praxis, lacks the reversible pocket clip here. So this is gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be small changes in the overall design. But aside from that, it just looks like a scaled down version. Opening action, swift opening action, very nice. Closing action, this is a light blade, so it may take a bit of, not really. Smooth closing, fast opening. And I can see that they decided to keep the full-size finger choil, even though the blade is actually on the smaller side. Ergos are on point. The blade spine is thinner, so it's not as comfortable placing your thumb on the spine, but no sharp edges. I can see why this one is popular, or I guess it is popular. Same kind of finger grooves here, etc. Might be an issue for some people, but it's not like no sharp edges or anything here. It's quite nicely contoured and smooth. So yeah, a very nice looking, smooth little version of the Praxis. Initial impressions is a nice small folding knife. very budget friendly too, and good steel. Last folding knife on the table, the CIVIVI Elementum 2 button lock version. Packaged together here with a small, it has got to be aluminum, yeah, aluminum pen. So this was a sort of a special Christmas gift pack of sorts that I picked up, yeah, I guess around Christmas or perhaps a few weeks before that. So yeah, happy Christmas to myself. Let's do a bit of an unboxing here. So we've got this, looks almost like a letter of sorts. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, what is actually included here is the regular contents. I mean, if you would get any CIVIVI, you would get the same stuff, but this time they made it a little bit special by wrapping it in this open envelope thing of sorts. Let's see if we can actually close it again. Easier said than done, huh? Okay. Yeah, well, there we go. So, yeah, not really that special, but still a nice, you know, yeah, nice wrapping of sorts. We've got some silica gel, we've got some pen refills, and some rubber O-rings as well. So let's take a look at the pen. Yeah, this is a silver aluminum pen with some milling work to it, and the CIVIVI logo on top here. Small, you know, like a lanyard hole or keychain hole. I mean, this is really a small pen, so you could wear it around your neck if you want, or just put something like a keyring or whatever. Yeah, let's open it up now, shall we? Like this. So yeah, very EDC friendly. The smaller hands you got, the easier it will be to use it, I guess. I got rather large hands, but this would still, you know, it would still work. Definitely. I do prefer my pens to be made of, you know, titanium. Well, but I mean, given the price of this combo pack, it's still a good deal. Let's put the pen back here and let's take a look at the knife itself. So we've got some ivory G10 scales here, combined with red steel liners. Like I said, part of a Christmas special package, so carrying this knife would be most appropriate around Christmas time. I will say that I think that the knife looked slightly better in some of the photos that I saw. The ivory G10 looks nice as long as it will stay white like this. And I mean, if you carry it a lot, it's probably gonna shift into some darker colors and get stained, etc. But I will say that the red steel liners, they have sort of a kind of a cheap look to it. I don't know, I just don't really feel them now that I have the knife in my hand. But it's also nice to have, you know, this variety going on. Yeah, I guess I'm a bit torn like that. Flipper tab with some jimping on, button lock, obviously, a button here. So let's try the opening action. Swift opening action. We got a satin finish Nitro V blade. Looks quite nice. The closing action is smooth, I would say, as well as the opening. The Argos are exactly like the original Elementum. This one is not scaled up or anything, despite being called Elementum 2. I love the jimping. It provides just good enough grip here without being non-comfortable in any way. The general Argos are on point, and despite being not a really large knife, I still get a full 4-finger grip around it. You have this area, which is not really a choil area per se, but I guess most people will use it as a full finger choil, which it isn't, so you have to be kinda careful. All in all, I think this is a nice upgrade to some, being a button lock. To me, I mean, I don't mind the original. they are equally nice, sort of. Yeah, the Elementum 2 bottom lock edition. Last but not least, we have my first and so far only fixed blade from CIVIVI. So this is the fixed blade Elementum, and I know that there are a few different versions of this one with some different scale materials and different sheath types, etc. But this one is the black and red G10 contoured handle with a satin finished 10 CR15 CO MOV blade. And that steel is, if I remember correctly, the steel equivalent to Japanese VG10 steel. This knife should be, I think, available in D2 steel as well. And I'm not sure which one I would have preferred, to be completely honest. But it is what it is. I was curious about CIVIVI's fixed blades, and I mean, I do have a few different fixed blades, and maybe I was boring picking the Elementum, but it's not totally illogical because I am a fan of the Elementum folder. So if I like that one, I should probably like the fixed blade as well, right? So here is what we are getting. Do we need to open this up in some way? I guess we do. So a leather sheath that actually feels to be of, you know, pretty decent quality. Yeah, with the CIVIVI logo on it, visible perhaps. I know there is one version with, I think, a Kydex sheath, and then there's perhaps some other versions, but I went with the leather sheath. And I think that if you want to go with leather sheath version and the black and red handle, then you will get this specific steel and not D2. So, put the sheath aside, and then we can bring out the knife as well. So, the knife here is delivered with a lanyard attached to it. This paper thing protecting the blade, or well, not protecting the blade, protecting my fingers, I would say. And then some kind of plastic wrapping. And also some tip protection. That's nice of them to include that. I can see some stains on the blades, so I'm gonna clean that away before we proceed. I hope it's just some residue of sorts. We will see. Give me like a minute to try to get it off using some, I don't know, ballistic oil or something. So that was probably just some oil residue from the plastic wrapping around the blade. Now it looks much nicer. So this is the Elementum fixed blade. Let's see if we can get it to, you know, it's kind of difficult with the light here right now, but it is definitely a bit larger than the folding knife which I have on me. So making a bit of a comparison, we can see that it is, well, not only slightly larger, but quite a bit larger at that. Let's see. Which I think is a good move. It feels very stout, very comfortable in hand. They kept the design here with what is not really a full finger choil, but that can be used sort of like a finger choil. I would have liked them to maybe, you know, make it slightly, you know, larger so that we can actually, you know, put it to good use without risking getting cut. The jimping is just as nice as on the folding knife. The grind lines, I mean, simple design in some sense, but mega practical, I would say. It feels great in my hand. I like the look of it, and this one definitely deserves a full review video in the not too distant future. So a larger sized fixed blade version of a really nice small folding knife. The Elementum fixed blade. Let's put it in its sheath too, see how that one fits. Might have to stretch the leather a bit here. There we go. Might remove the lanyard. But yeah, first impressions are nice. There is one thing I would like to include in this video before ending it, and that is a factory sharpness test. I mean, it is true that I'm only doing an initial impression video, showcasing each model really fast, but I still want to try out the factory sharpness of each and every edge. And I'm going to try to make it as fast as possible, just doing some slicing of regular printing paper. So let's start with the Stormhowl here, shall we? So this is, in my opinion, a nice factory sharpness. Let's continue with the, let's see, this is the Vexillum, right? Gotta remember the names. So, the Vexillum. This one is also nice and sharp. Then we have the Spiny DOGFISH. Is that the name? I think so. Let's try it out. Getting stuck in the chart. So this one is, I mean, it is slicing the paper, but I feel like it could be due to the grind, but it is not as sharp as the other two. Not saying it's bad, but less sharp than the two we just tried. This one is, let's see, this is the Bulltusk. Yeah, the Bulltusk. So this one is probably the sharpest of the bunch so far. Nice, clean cuts. Then we have the Bluetick. Let's see, grab a piece of paper. This one is sharp as well, about the same kind of sharpness as the two we tested in the beginning, or the first two we tested. Then we have the Praxis, full-size Praxis or regular Praxis. Also got a nice, probably the second sharpest of the bunch after the Bulltusk. Then we have the mini Praxis. Oops, that was actually my bad. But I would say this is, nice and sharp, like the first two, have the same sharpness. Then we have the Elementum 2, button lock. I would say about the same here, like like most of the CIVIVIs. Last but definitely not least, we have the fixed blade. So it is also quite sharp actually, nice. That was all of the blades. I think they all had a good level of sharpness. I would say that the sharpest one is the Bulltusk here, and the least sharp one was the Spiny DOGFISH, which was still sharp enough to slice paper. Some quick final thoughts and conclusions of sorts here. So, I mean, I do like CIVIVI as a knife brand. I prefer WeKnife, but there is no denying that CIVIVI has a great lineup of budget-friendly knives in pretty, great materials and in a great variety of materials. I do think you have to read up a bit on the different steel types used because, unlike WeKnife that, well, they mainly use CPM 20CV and then the occasional Dama steel blade. But here there is actually a great variety in steel and steel properties and characteristics. So you need to pay attention to what you are actually buying. In terms of fit and finish and sharpness, I just tried slicing paper with all the knives and all the knives did a great job. There was a bit of variety in the level of sharpness, and I would say that the Spiny DOGFISH was easily the one that performed the least good, but it was still slicing the paper, and I think a lot has to do with the edge design and edge geometry. All other knives slice paper quite nicely. Some slice really, really nice, especially the Bulltusk, which I guess came out on top on the sharpness test in terms of slicing printing paper. Anyways, great budget-friendly alternatives. And I personally wouldn't mind seeing some frame locks. I mean, I don't have anything really against liner locks. I have never had liner locks fail on me or anything like that. But I do enjoy frame locks in general. It is nice to see, some bottle locks as well. And maybe we will see more of that in the future, perhaps. I will probably continue to add some CIVIVIs here and there, but as you can see, I mean, it took me some time to just make this video. There were lots of knives here that I had never really even opened up the package until now, and I got them many months ago. Even so, it is nice to bring some variety to the channel, not only showcasing really, high-end folders, super expensive knives, etc. So, but I have already shown quite a lot of WeKnives, but I do think they are getting quite pricey. It's not like the good old days of WeKnife when they were actually quite cheap. You got really great value for your money. Not saying they're bad in any way, but they have gotten more expensive, and so has the CIVIVI lineup as well. But yeah, this is it for now. I will probably pick a few of these knives to make full reviews of, but I have quite a backlog to work through, which is why I'm making these initial impression videos of sorts. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the content.